I think the reason why Forever was like the ish for us, I feel like because as a millennial parent, I can see myself in the future past. I can see myself Keisha, Scorpio, and I can see myself as Justin's mom. Actually, I'm living that right now. Like, literally being a Keisha, like, school is my only way out. And Justin, I'm gonna need you to, like, I'm not giving you no excuses because you have ADHD. I am literally that mom with my son because we're both ADHD. And I literally tell him, ADHD ain't a disability. It's a superpower. And I literally was, like, drawn to somebody, like, I want to say two guys within, but I'll say one that I felt like I just knew. Like, it was an automatic connection, you know what I'm saying, when I was in high school. And the dad is definitely my husband. Like, yeah. This is why us millennials can relate. And I know some of y'all like, ain't no way. This is young love. Ain't no way. But it's like, no. Like, it might not have been exactly like that, but it was like that. At least for me, it was like, not knowing what to say. Like, I think the reason why Forever is such an adorable story is because, one, I know for me as I was watching, I'm wondering, like, when's the bad's gonna happen? And, that's sad to say as an African-American person that I'm always, like, we have the bad in the back of our mind. But I feel like when I was in high school, the bad was always around the corner. Or I felt like I was gonna crash out. Like, seeing Justin and Keisha text, and then they go erase the whole paragraph. Like, that's literally how our mind was working in high school. Like, I'm about to say all this and this is how I felt. Let me go back because I don't want to look thirsty. I don't want to look weak and vulnerable. And I literally feel that with Keisha. Like, I'm going to just give y'all, like, my review on the first episode. I've been at a little party, feeling uncomfortable, and I just felt drawn to someone. I'm not going to say no names, but, And it just was just, like, there, like a language that was there. And then when Justin's, like, they had their little moment in the closet. I don't want to say I got that far, but you definitely have, like, the vibe, okay? And then you get home, the person send you the music. Justin told us who he was in the first episode. I'm going to just say that. Like, what his passion truly was when he sent Keisha the song. Like, if I could have sent a song to the person that I liked back then with the technology that they have now, I would have definitely did that. Yeah. And just Keisha feeling like all guys want is that one thing. When they met up at the thing and everything was going well. And then she felt like she had to, like, reward him for getting her something. Like, as a girl, I actually felt that way. Not saying that I was out there, but I'm just saying, like, you felt like you had to give him a kiss or something like that. Because guys just seem like they are just like you just felt like, I don't know. It's that weird thinking like every guy is the same. And I like how she felt like, what are you doing? Are you trying to embarrass me? Like, what are we doing? Why you acting like you don't know? Like, what are you based on? Like, that is so high school. Like, you literally think someone is thinking what you are thinking, and that's totally so far from the truth. But your mind logically don't know how to, and you just don't know how to express, like, are you playing with my emotions or no? So you're blocked. You're very much blocked, and that would have been me all the way. You're getting blocked. Or I'm not talking to you. I'm avoiding you. I'm avoiding you. I'm avoiding. Because block, we couldn't really block. I mean, we could dismiss or ignore, but the blockage wasn't real then. So I'm definitely not talking to you, and I definitely don't know what to say to you moving forward because I don't know what you're thinking about me. I don't know what you're thinking, and that's my thoughts on the first episode. I'm going to watch it again with my husband so I can give y'all episode by episode what y'all thinking. But I just feel like, Justin, he couldn't get the words out, like. But in hindsight, for him to be like, he's such a gentleman. For him to be like, you don't have to do all that because I bought you a bag, not knowing about the tape, was just like, you should have just said it. I didn't know about it, but her insecurities and all of that just was like, I don't know what you heard about me. And back in the day, it wasn't a tape that was out there. It was word of mouth. of a guy maybe lying on you or telling a little truth, but it still was the thing where it's like, you know something, I know something you don't. Is it one of those moments? Like, yeah. So I can definitely see myself as a parent in this right now, parenting my son that is a teenager, and just me and my husband's dynamic, because I really be on some like nurturing, no play type of energy. I don't, my son is dating and his heart is so precious, and when I see him down, like, you know. And then my husband is more so, he got to learn how to be a man. So yeah. And I'm definitely Keisha, Scorpio all the way. Like, the blockage is real if we feel like we getting hurt. So as promised, I said I was going to give my thoughts about Forever episode by episode. So this is episode 2. In this episode, at the end of episode 1, Justin gets his phone taken because he's not on track with school, and he took his tutor and he went and got on the drive to go see Keisha to say, look, you know, I'm sorry I didn't know about your tape or nothing like that. I just was trying to tell you, like, I wasn't trying to embarrass you and that I really like you and stuff like that. And at first, Keisha was guarded because she like, boy, what? Like, you definitely knew about the video, but he had to tell her, like, you know, I didn't know. And I went through all the, like, he had went through great lengths. He was, like, power to Justin. Like, he was reaching out to her friends. And then her friends was like, I stand in solidarity with you, and I will block him too, girl. Like, I won't talk to him either. And I just thought that was so cute. Like, you need a friend like that. You need a friend like that. So then, in this episode, the dad is like, your mom wants you to have a bright future, but she also wants you to have a bright future with a black girl. So if you would have just led with that, maybe your mama would have been a little bit easy if you was just honest about what you was doing and said, hey, I'm trying to get this girl attention. And then this is when he kind of tells his dad, like, it's Keisha. Like, Keisha, the one you used to say hi to all the time. Like, used to make me say hi to her when we was in, like, first grade, elementary school. And he like, what? He like, so you need to go talk to your mama and try to get your phone back and lead with, I'm dating a black girl. And I have to say, this resonated with me so bad, because I'm like, I want my son to be with somebody of my complexion, if not in the diaspora of blackness, just somebody that's black. Like, it don't have to be my complexion, but just the essence of, you know, the wholesome chocolate woman, you know what I'm saying? Chocolate in its shade, you understand? So for me, I'm like, when she said that, I'm like, that's my same reaction I would have gave. Like, oh, so, okay, yeah, you can get your phone back. Anyway, so that's my thought on that. I'm like, I'm so glad he finally broke it to his mom and told her. So, this episode, Keisha's doing a run with her grandpa. And why the whole time I was thinking of granddaddy was going to have a heart attack. I'm like, granddaddy, don't have a heart attack. At first, I didn't know who he was. I'm like, you know, who is this man to her? But later I come to find out, like, you know, as you watch it, you start to really know. Like, I knew he was related to her, but I didn't really know. So then later on, I guess Justin asked her to meet, like, at, you know, his brother baseball game. So she wasn't gonna go, but then she was like, I'm gonna go. But also in this episode, Christian, which is the guy who sent out the video, who she did with the dirty, you know, he reaches out and sends her roses. And this is where I was so annoyed. Like, leave me alone. You embarrassed me to the point of no return, to the point where I'm at a different school, and you got the audacity to send me roses. But Keisha never told her mom. So Justin also in this episode is telling her, like, you need to tell your mom what's going on, so you don't have to feel like you got to live out this lie and pretend like you're not upset with Justin or don't want to be bothered or associated with him. So of course Keisha's like, I'm not bringing it up to my mom. We are finally in a good place, and I'm just trying to stay on task. I'm trying to stay on my goal. I want to go to Howard, and I'm trying to keep my grades where I need to be, and do track and be focused, which I think was a terrible idea. So she finally meets Justin at the baseball game. Then here comes Christian with her mama. So then this is when Justin's mom, Dawn, meets Keisha's mom and Christian. And she start to notice, and I'm going to put her somewhere up in here, where she start to notice that Justin really like her and really care for her. And people want to come for Dawn all day, but you can see when someone is hurting your child. And I think from there she knew how much he cared for her. And she was just like, wait, like, because she kept looking. And she also paid attention to Justin's body language to Christian. Like, Christian tried to go in and give him a handshake, and Justin didn't. And I love Justin for that. He was super. And then when he hugged, when Christian hugged Dawn, buddy, Justin almost lost it. Like, did you just touch my mom? But he held it together. But when he watched Keisha go over there, and start talking to him, and it looked like they was kind of making up, like, if you didn't know. And that's why I love this show. It gives both perspectives. It gives Justin's perspective and Keisha's perspective. It goes into both of their lives and what's going on and what's making them who they are and what they trying to stand for and all this and that and the third. But from they showed Justin's perspective, where Christian is leaning in trying to kiss Keisha, and it looked like it, and he kind of teared up, and his mom caught wind in that. Like, dang. And then he just turned around and was like, it's time to go to practice, Mom. And then in the car, he didn't really want to talk about it at all. So when people come for Dawn, no, she's doing what a mom's supposed to do. She's trying to protect her son. And no, we can't stop our kids from having heartache. But when it's in front of us and we watching a person, it's so devastating and it's so hard. And I can really relate to this when it comes to my son, when it comes to my oldest kids. You know, watching my daughter and her relationship, watching my son in the dating world, it's just very hard to I'm just so protective. And you know, I ask myself, I wouldn't be happy I want them to be happy, but it's like this idea of them picking who they pick is like so hard. So I really, really connected with Dawn in this moment. And not to say that who my kids pick is like bad. It's just, we don't want our kids to be hurt. And I think that's what she was showing, like, I don't want my kid to be hurt. And then so she's just seeing, like, she could see the pain on his face. Even though he's not saying anything, she can see that Keisha, I don't know if she's feeling like she's going to be a problem later or if she is a problem, but she's definitely feeling like there's something that she can't really control, and she's trying to just keep winning. Like, is this girl gonna hurt me? Like, my son, like, is she hurting my son? You know what I'm saying? So, but my thoughts so far is, this is crazy. That was my thought, was like, dang. I'm like, Keisha, don't mess this up. And by them just only showing Justin's perspective, I had to go into the third episode to see how it played out, and how things can get, like, due to body language, due to the not speaking and communicating, the lack of when you're a teenager. That is so real. I remember assuming things, or my guy who I'm talking to at the time assuming things that just wasn't even what he thought, but not knowing how to say it verbally and without it being like, I don't know, like, just not understanding how to communicate was lost. Because you trying to be with somebody and get trust, and you feel like that person is not being loyal or anything, like you can't trust them. So it's like, do I trust you with my heart? Do I be honest? Do I be transparent and say my whole feeling? Are you gonna step on it? Like, that is so real. And I can relate to Keisha and Justin in that way. Like, I was all 100% like Justin, but I was thinking, I'm like, please, Keisha, let it be something different. And by them being able to say, like, both sides, I was so happy about that. So I'm gonna let y'all know my thoughts tomorrow about episode 3, because I'm not watching it like back to back like I did when I initially watched it. I'm watching it, getting my thoughts together, and then I'm coming to you guys and telling you guys my thoughts. So I'm not gonna, and I'm busy, you know, I'll be working and stuff. So I'm not watching it like when I've watched it before, but just rewatching it, my same thoughts are my same thoughts, because it's just so heavy and it's just so deep, like, you know. So now we're on episode 3 of Forever, and I'm about to tell you guys, if you haven't seen it, stop. Don't watch this because I will be giving some spoilers. So the episode starts off and it gives Keisha's perspective of Justin, and she kind of went in, but she didn't go all the way in. I was really annoyed that Keisha wasn't really just going off like on him, but I get it. Her mom was near and she didn't want it to look like they were fighting, so she kept it, kept it cute. But for me, I feel like he still should have been every cuss word over the moon and sun and just keep going on and on and on, just hitting them in the head. Okay. So now Justin is ignoring Keisha as he should, because he's like, he ain't teared up and everything. He like, I'm really like, I thought we was about to be moving on. But of course not. They're not moving on because Keisha is still in, like, I don't want to say she is trying to get back with Christian. I don't think that by any means, but she's not making it clear and drawing a clear boundary that I'm done. She's so busy trying to run with this lie. This is why y'all shouldn't be lying to y'all parents, because you be put in uncomfortable situations and that will be coming in the future. Okay. So she just want to keep this lie up because she don't want her mom to know about the tape. But it's like, this boy sending you flowers, he doing all too much for me. So he invites her to the Nike thing. She goes. Then they go off. She go off and she tell her perspective or whatever of how it should have went down and that he should have never disrespected her and sent that tape. And she go in the way that she needed to go in. Still feel like more cuss words should have been going off, popping off, calling them all types of blah, 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 blah. You already know. So then her friend talks her into going to the game, and she goes, but she sits on Christian's side. Duh. Why would you do that? But she was trying to feel comfort. That was her only best friend, but it was at her old school. People was talking about her, and Justin and Christian, it was Christian and Justin's game. But Justin's looking like, I don't know why you came. You ain't come for me. You came for him. Which he didn't know. She really did come for him. So then in this episode also, Justin's parents and him go to a counseling session, and they're basically telling them that basketball is not going to be your career, boo-boo. Like, you're not going to be an NBA star. Like, the chances of that is slim to none. Like, if being a basketball player was so easy, it would be more of those famous people in the neighborhood. So they're basically saying, we need to do plan B. Justin ain't trying to hear it. He's like, I can get it together. I can get it together. Okay? I can, But they like, no, your senior year is next year, and I'm going to need you to get it together, my boy. And he's just like, no. Basketball's still my future. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna do it. So yeah. So then he meets up with Keisha. He eventually reaches out to her and they meet up and they're talking at the baseball court. And he basically still telling her, like, you need to tell your mom because you're disrespecting me, allowing this person who disrespected you around when I am pursuing you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And she's just like, I'm not telling my mom because my mom's going through a lot, because she realized her mom is kind of behind on bills and she could barely afford the school that she's going to. So she's like, no. She want to continue lying. So you know what Justin said? I'm done talking to you. So later on, him and his mom meet up again and talk about the decision for college. He's like, or just how to move in his senior year. He ain't trying to hear it. He's like, look, mom, I'm doing my homework, etc. She like, boy, we have to start talking realistically. And he don't want to hear it. But I love Dawn for that, because we have to do that as parents. We have to let our kids know, like, I don't want to crush your dreams, but we have to also fall into reality. You can still dream. You can still play basketball. But maybe not in a way of going to the NBA. Maybe in a way of, just as a hobby. Let's move it on to a hobby, and let's talk about your future and what college you want to go to and what you want to do and what you want to be. He still don't know. But he sent Keisha music, and that's kind of how they talked again before he again stopped talking to her after that conversation when he said, you need to tell your mom. But you could tell music is his real passion, and that's his way of expressing himself. So yeah. But anyway, he stops talking to Keisha again because he's like, you don't want to tell your mom about what he did to you. You just being a fall guy for this fool. So he stopped talking to her again. So she go to another game. But this time she sits on his side. She let him know, I'm here for you, boo-boo. I'm trying to really make it up to you. And he's like, he's jacking for her, but he still ain't giving her attention. He just want to talk to her so bad, but he just can't give in. He got to really prove a point. He's standing on business. He's setting the boundaries. He's like, I'm tired of this. Okay. So then he puts himself in the game and he does well. He scores. His parents was like, oh my God, I didn't know this boy had it in him. They're finally playing him. He kind of made them play him. Because the coaches, it's politics. Y'all know how it is. They have their favorites, so they pick their favorites, and that's pretty much what Justin's going through. So then, Keisha stays. The whole gym clears. And this is when it becomes super beautiful. Like, it made me reminisce on the love. But no, it wasn't love. It was lust. But anyway. So she waits and the gem's cleared out and she let him know, like, I'm here for you, boo. As he's coming out the locker room. He ignores her, of course, because he cannot fall in the trap of like, but he can't resist Keisha. Let's just be really honest. He ain't resisting. He love Keisha, okay? And Keisha know it. She's like, you can't resist me. So then he's like calling his friend because he's like, Mom, I want to go bowling or whatever. Go to Penn's, which I'm assuming is a bowling place. So then his friend wasn't able to pick him up. So he's trying to act like he know how to catch the bus. So Keisha was like, you don't know how, but I'll go with you. And she follows him. And he's ignoring. He's asking the bus driver, is that American Express card? So it gets all cutesy and everything. And then they were on the subway and he finally took the lead after they stood together in silence, just like in each other's presence. And then they make up. And that's the episode. Hey, baby. You know what I think? The more I watch this show, it just makes me realize, like, in high school, how many loose ends of just not getting closure was a thing. Because you don't want to look vulnerable. But I think you know when you know. So in their case, they know. But I think it's so cute. So that's how the end of this episode ends. They back on track. And next episode gonna turn the turn. It's gonna turn the turn, I believe. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for the next review. But that's my thoughts. Super cute. It's a very cute episode. One of my favorites. Especially they playing Janae. And can I say the soundtrack? The soundtrack. Baby. Just that song of her following him. Janae Aiko just playing. Episode 4 of Forever. All right. So this is the episode that, you know, they make it to Penn's. And then, you know, later the next day, Justin makes it official. And he finally asks Keisha to be his girlfriend. Woo! So then Keisha invites Christian over her house. I don't know why. Or he comes over. Either way. And she breaks the news to him. I'm not going to prom with you. I'm in a relationship. I'm with Justin. And I'm like, yes, girl. Yes, you better say it. Still don't know why he was at her house. Or she had a reason to even tell him that anyway. Because we ain't talking. But that's just my thought. You know, that's just me. So Justin make it so official that he tells his parents. You know, me and Keisha are official. And I would like her to come over. So once he do that, my favorite part happens. Or one of my favorite parts. But the dad. And the guy that's playing his dad. I'm going to put him up in here. He don't get enough of his flowers. I need to really figure out his name. I'm going to put it here. He don't get his flowers. He's been a great actor. I've been loving him since... What's that movie with Tupac? But I loved him even more in Paid in... is it Paid in Full? Yeah, Paid in Full. I loved him in that. So, yeah. But anyway, he is like, here's some condoms. Put it on in the day and put it on with the curtains closed. Pretend it's night. Let's see if you can get it together in... There we go. Since you got a girlfriend, we ain't stupid. We know y'all gon', you know. He can definitely tell that, you know, Justin is in love. This is Justin's first girlfriend, to be honest, which he says later in the episode. So he has Keisha over. They have a good time. They also talked about, while she was over, Justin was like, did you break the news to your mom and tell her, you know, that you're not going to prom with Christian? Because in the last episode, I believe the flowers was dropped off and Christian asked Keisha if she can go to prom. And her family got all excited. Her mom and her, I think those are her cousins or aunties. Either way, they got all excited. So in this episode, he like, you told Christian we official, but did you tell him that you're not going to prom with him? And she's like, no, I'll just wait and let time, you know, go by. And then I'll eventually tell my mom, like, I'm not going. And this is the reason why. Keisha was getting on my dang on nerves. I'm not even going to lie. She was getting on my nerves because tell your mom, you ain't even got to tell your mom why you and Christian are together. But you can at least say, like, I don't like him like that. He rubbed me the wrong way. So your mom, so you could just break it off. But not Keisha. Not Keisha. And I don't know why she was keeping her options open with Christian anyway. I think she was reminiscing on the love that she once had. Like, I don't want to say she was in love with Christian, but I think she deeply cared about him until this whole situation with the tape came out. But I don't even care. Tell your mama. So that way your mama can join in solidarity and not even like him anyway. Won't let him over, won't let him do nothing. But of course Keisha doesn't. And this is what frustrates me to no end with Keisha. Okay? So while she is over, Justin and Keisha are trying to make a plan on what Justin didn't know was Keisha was still a virgin. But they were trying to make a plan on losing their virginity at her house while her mom was at work. So Justin comes over, his homeboy, drops him off or whatever. You know, Justin made sure he was all shaved and well maintained down there. And, yeah. And he goes over Keisha's house, and the attempt was a nightmare. I mean, a complete nightmare. And he later then find out, like, not later, but in that same scene, he finds out that just because Keisha has a tape of doing to Justin doesn't mean she's not a virgin. And she's very much a virgin. And he was very much pleased, like, and she was just like, I'm nervous, you nervous, but it was a nightmare. So then, she's like, my mom's coming, you gotta go home. That was when he was over. So tell me why she get out the shower and find out her mom bought her a prom dress. And my thought is this. How did mama know the colors? You know, like, how you just gonna go pick my dress, mama? Like, who said I wanted to go with him? Let alone, like, why you picking my dress? I don't need you to pick my dress. I don't need you to pick the color. I don't need you to pick nothing. So I was so confused because usually when it comes to prom, the moms are like, let's go try out some dresses and do that. That didn't even happen. Her mom just produced the dress and there you go. And then all of a sudden, it is what it is. So Keisha then goes over to Justin's house and she breaks the news to him like, I have to go to prom with Christian because my mom bought a dress and she can't really afford it and she's doing it just because and I don't want to have to tell her why and da-da-da. Still annoying. So Justin's like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. So he leaves. Keisha go home. He's so messed up in the head with the whole situation that he's getting into a fight with his little brother. So his mom let him have a mental health day. Like I said, Dawn is the bomb mom. She could tell something was happening and that Justin wasn't being himself. That something has made him be so upset to the point where he arguing with his little brother and just, you know, going in on his brother. So she like, have a mental health day. So Justin goes into bed. He goes to sleep. His mom has made food, put it at the end of his bed. He's kind of listening on his family, and then he remembers like why he's just like not eating with the family and why. And he starts crying, and then he sends Keisha a text like, I'm over, I'm done. And he blocks her. He blocks her as he should. I would have blocked her too. Because there's no way you're going to prom with a guy that humiliated you and embarrassed you. Like, what are you thinking about, sis? So then Keisha goes to prom. She goes to prom. And people want to come for her. I've been seeing on the internet, like, why she wearing braids? Why she got to dress up for this clown anyway? But why she even going? That's the question. And braids can be stylish. We are constantly trying to... Well, let me get back on the subject. Either way, she goes to prom. Then a month passes by. So, just to give y'all a timeline, we all know that prom is usually in May, June-ish. So a month passed, and now they're in full-blown summer, and it ends with Justin crying in the bed. He sees the pictures of her on IG going to prom with Christian, and that is how the episode ends. And I just don't know what's wrong with Keisha, but she did tell him she's in a bad state of mind. But I don't know why she just wasn't upfront. I could not be humiliated the way that she was, going into a whole depression to the point where I had to change my whole school because I was getting clowned. I wouldn't even want to be, and it was so awkward. That prom was so awkward. I couldn't fake it. The Scorpio in me, and I understand if she ain't no true Scorpio, because the Scorpio in me, I can't fake it. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. I can still politely say, you know, I don't really mess with you like that. Or, you know, we don't really get along. But with a guy, I'd be like, I don't even know why you even... I can pretend you not there. I'm just saying. So Keisha was getting on my dang on nerves the whole episode. Because everything was going well. Everything was going well. Everything. But so, episode 5, Vineyard. Keisha getting her man back. She's on mission. Justin, I'm getting my man back. She hopped in her best friend's, suitcase, basically, hopped on that plane, and she went to Martha's Vineyard, if you know what I'm saying. She's like, I'm getting my man back by any means necessary. But 3 months has passed, so this has been a long time. He blocked her in 3 months. So it's at the end of the summer, if you will, like very end, tail end, right before school starts. But she's like, I'm getting my man back. I'm getting my man. I'm getting my money. I'm getting my man. So her and her bestie is like, yes, mission Justin all the way. So Keisha's running around the island. She runs into Jaden, which is Justin's little brother, and the mom. And you can tell on the mom's face, she's just like, not again. Not you again. Like, my son has literally been on vacation, and just since y'all broke up, he's been depressed. Why are you here? Why are you here? And I don't blame her. She's trying to protect her baby's heart. Like, people always want to say, women are the only people that get their heart broken. As a boy mom, a mom that has boys, I'm also protective of my son's heart. And I don't want no little girl stomping on his little heart, and he's so kind and sweet. But the beautiful thing about it is, while Keisha is running around trying to find him, the next day she's like, I can't find him. She ended up going to all the place that he was at, but she just was a little too late. So yeah. So while she's running around, she's crying, having a breakdown, like, dang, I'm really not gonna find my man. I'm really not gonna be able to talk to him face to face. Like, this is heartbreaking. But the dad has a beautiful conversation, because the mom did not tell Justin, even though I could tell she wanted to, but it was just like, I don't want to see my baby I'm trying to pull him out of this depression. I don't want to see him back in it. And the dad is like telling his wife before he talked to Justin, like, let him get into this fire rink, okay? Let him get his heart broken. Let him, so it could build character. It could build him up as a person. He has to go through things and have doors slammed in his face. He has to go through challenges in order to grow. So the mom's like, yeah. So the daddy ends up finding a way. And I think it's so beautiful, the parent dynamic that Justin has as far as support. The dad took his boys and they played basketball, but then he pulled Justin to the side and let Jaden continue to play. And I think it's beautiful how they can pull him to the side and have these one-on-one conversations with him. And it just all clicks. But basically, I'm going to show you guys a picture here. But the dad is sitting there and he's like, you're going to have to face Keisha. I understand you set up a boundary, but a man goes through the fire. And then he also tells him, like, I love your mom. Like, she's everything. But he also explains, like, loving somebody can be hard, but you got to go through the fire. You got to talk it out. You got to see what she got to say. And he looking like, if she came this far, you might as well. That girl love you. Like, she trying to get you back. So they end up, he ended up sitting by the beach with his cousin. It's not really his cousin. It's really a friend of the family. Like, they grew up together. It's basically his parents' best friend's daughter, but they grew up as cousins. And she's just like, why didn't we lose our virginity? And people were making fun of her, but it was like, I understood what she was saying. Neither one of us are in a place where we have a person that we trust and love. So why not we do it together and lose our virginity, so we don't have to worry about our heart being stepped on, and it can be beautiful just as much and mean just as much. It may not be in a relationship way, but at least we'll know it was with somebody we genuinely care about and love. We might not be in love like in a relationship, but I love you and I wouldn't want anything bad. And we're both horny. Like, and people try to act like boys are the only ones that be horny. No. When girls are going through puberty, we are just as horny. We just want to make sure we are with someone that we love and protect, that can protect us and not take advantage of us. And it's really tricky because guys only want one thing around that time, and you don't know if their heart is really in it. So I understood being comfortable with somebody you're familiar with and stuff like that. And she actually made a bet with him, like, if Keisha didn't leave you no voicemails, even though she was blocked, then we doing this thing. And he was like, okay. And come to find out, Keisha did her big one. She was texting him all through the summer, just like, I miss you. She's watching shows. She's really trying to get him back and hoping that he checked his voicemails. But she's like, even if he didn't, at least I got to say how I feel through the phone. So they end up meeting up, and this beautiful scene happened. and they lost their virginity together. And I thought it was so beautiful. And it was such a beautiful scenery and just setting and perfect time, perfect place. It was everything. Everything that anybody in that position would love to have. So yeah, and I also want to say that in this episode as well, right before all this happened, his mom and uncle were talking about him going to college, and he was saying he wanted to be an NBA player, and he was being a realist and saying, boy, you ain't gonna be no real basketball player. And I think that is also to talk about, not to, I had to pause on the part about them losing virginity, but not to rain on anybody's parade. But I think as parents, from a parental standpoint, we have to be honest with our kids moving on in our future and just tell them, you know. But the mom's like, don't try to break my baby's heart. So she's like, he's going to try his best and do basketball, and we're going to figure this college thing out. He really want him to go to Howard so he can, you know, explore more of his culture of just being black. And she's like, that's why we come to Martha's Vineyard, you know, to explore our culture, if you will. But he's like, that ain't enough. I need that boy to know everything. But anyway, so back to them losing their virginity. They make up, and it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. So then the next day they meet up at the beach, and Keisha comes, and the mom's like, oh my gosh, she's back. And the dad's cracking up like, they made it up. They made up. But they're at the beach. They have a beautiful day at the beach. Last day on Martha's Vineyard, and they just loving it. So at the end of the episode, though, the mom bumps into a parent, and she finds out why Keisha is not at Brookwood anymore. I believe that's the name of the school. And she's devastated because she's like, oh my God, like, what? She played my son for this boy that humiliated her? Like, are you kidding me? So she's even more just like, I can't stand this girl. I can't stand this heifer. But, so yeah, it ends like that. And my thoughts so far is, it's so beautiful how I think it's beautiful how time and place means everything. And I think it's beautiful that Justin has, like I said, great support. He has people to talk to him. He has people in his corner. His mom may not be cheerleading this relationship, but she's there to say, look, you know, I care about you. I care about your heart. I love you. I don't want you to get hurt again. But I also think it's a great balance that his dad is like, no, I want you to go through things so you can know, like, not crash and burn. You can learn that you can get through it, and that God willing, everything will be okay. So I just think this was a beautiful episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all agree with me? And do you like, what did you think? Like, what would you rate this? I rate this a 10 out of 10 this episode. I think it ended beautifully. About time it ain't ending on some blockage from Keisha and Justin. It's more so of the parents now, like, so dun dun dun. Episode 6, the honeymoon. So they come back from the vineyard, and Justin's parents sit down with him and say, hey, we know about the tape about Keisha. And he's like, I already know. Now I don't know why they didn't think he knew already. Duh, he's in high school. Duh. Not to say that he knew when him and Keisha first started talking, but why wouldn't he? Why would y'all know before him? So they basically tell him, trying to get him to break up with her. He lets them know, I love her and I'm not breaking up with her. So y'all can just stop it. And that he is the support that she needs. And they're like, we didn't expect it to go this way. The dad's like, it was your mom's fault. I swear, I love Wood Harris in this. Yes, I found out his name. I love him in this. He's a great dad. But anyway, so then Dawn starts to feel bad for her. And she started asking Justin all these questions, and like, dang, I didn't realize. And she eventually finds out that Keisha's mom does not know. So then she tells Justin, sometimes you gotta do the hard thing, and it's not what she want to hear. This is love, and she need a village, because ain't nobody been around her. And if her parents don't know, then, you know, this is terrible, you know, because how can anybody protect her? So she tells Justin, if Keisha don't tell her by Monday, I'm gonna tell her mom. So he told Keisha what happened. And my thoughts was, I think the mom gave great advice, but a little bit of me, it's like, if I was a teenager, it was like, I don't like this. Why are you meddling in the teenage business this far? But I get it from a parental standpoint. Yes, Keisha's mom definitely should have known. She would have been more protecting of her. And yeah. So Keisha is so mad when she gets the news. Anyway, She ended up telling her mom right before her mom went to work, and her mom is like devastated, like, what? How could you be so stupid? I'm paying for this expensive school and yada yada yada. And her mom had every right to go in. She's just like, what the heck? So then Justin goes over there because the dad's like, he's like, I gotta go over there and, you know, check up on her and be there for her. And the dad's like, let him go. And Dawn's like, but no. And he's like, no, you want him to be a man? We gonna tell him. And I ain't gonna lie. It was late at night. I was like, it's beautiful. They sitting on top of the, you know, the thing, looking at the sky, you know, in the whole cityscape or whatever. Anyway, when he dropped Keisha off, I swear my heart dropped. Because the daddy had told him all the things to do in case, you know, he got pulled over. And it's in LA. But it don't matter. Riding black, being a man, is scary at night. But anyway, my heart just, whew. And it was like midnight too. And the police creep behind them for a little bit. And then they end up going around. But baby, I thought this love story was going to turn into a nightmare. That's just so sad that as a person of color, we think like, dang, we see the police on screen because they show it so much and we know it to be true. That's like, this story's going too well in a way of just in our own business. We always figuring somebody might be in the business other than us, you know? So we just like, here we go again with the, but thank God that didn't happen. I'm so happy, especially with him just not getting as deep. That would have been so traumatizing and it's so scary. So Keisha's mom come home and she's like trying to find somebody to blame for what happened to her daughter. And her daughter, Keisha, saying like, it's my fault too, Mom. I shouldn't have never did it. I shouldn't have never recorded it. I shouldn't have never let him record it. And I shouldn't have never sent it. You know, and her mom's just like, but no, we can press charges. And Keisha's like, no, I just want to go to college. Right? I want to put this behind me. And I agree with Keisha. Like, I wouldn't want to be known as the girl in the in Brookwood that had a tape and went all through this court thing and it just ain't going in her favor. But her mom is just like trying to find somebody to blame because she just cannot believe that she allowed her and like was like all about Christian. She's just like, what was, but she had no idea. So then Keisha's like, I'm going to go move with my cousin. I'm not about to be dealing with this, Mom. Like, you tripping. Because her mom's like, she's like, what if I don't want to do it? Her mom's like, I don't care. You're doing it. So I'm just like, I feel like as a mom, of course we want somebody to blame. Of course, I think she felt every bit of shame and embarrassment. But it was like, you got to think about your daughter. So I agree with Keisha. I probably would have been like, I'm moving out too. Like, you're stressing me out, ma'am. This is my senior year, first day. And I'm not saying that I didn't stress you out as a parent, but it's just like, I'm living it, Mom. So it's like and then she explains to her mom, like, I didn't tell you because, you know, you had so much going on. And I feel so bad for Keisha, you know. And it's like, I am glad that Dawn thought about it and was like, what if it was my daughter? What if it was me? You know, I'm glad that aspect. And later on, Dawn calls Keisha's mom and she talks to her and sends her a therapist and stuff like that. And let her know, like, it's hard, you know, parenting these teenagers. And here's a therapist so you can have somebody to talk to. And I'm glad that Dawn was Keisha's mom's support and the parents was each other's support in this series as far as when it came to Justin and Keisha and just loving on them. I love that. And I think it's because they have the history of them going to school in elementary school. So for Dawn to call and check on her, like, how does it feel? Like, how are you feeling? How are y'all doing? You know? But Dawn did get on my dang on nerves because she's trying to force this Northwestern school on Justin so bad. And he just ran into somebody who was doing music where Keisha was getting her hair done. So I'm just like, he's like, I don't want to do that. And his mom, and I get where his mom is coming from. She just want him to have a plan and a future and a successful future, especially as a black man. But it's just like, he don't have to go in a traditional way. But I think that's the only way she know how, but it was getting on my nerve. But she was getting on my dang on nerves because the more and more she was just pushing it on him, I think this is why later, as we continue to watch, you'll just see how Justin, you know, unfolds throughout this. It's just the expectation. I feel like it's too high. I feel like as parents, sometimes we put a high expectation, not knowing. And I don't want to say we raising out of fear, but it still is giving too much for these young teenagers. We don't think about the trauma that they go through or that they see on a daily. And I think Dawn is not seeing that. All she see is you letting this little girl get in your head and you ain't thinking about your future. But it's like, he doesn't know who he is. No one knows who they are when they're like senior year, and she just want him to do early admission, and it's just like I don't, or early application. It's just like I don't even know if I want to go to school, but he can't even say that because she has such a plan. I think it's because he is ADHD, and they've always had a plan because he has an IEP, and it has been working. But I think now that he's in high school, it's starting to fade, and I can relate because my son also has an IEP, but his is pretty much faded into none, but it's due to him being ADHD as well and needing certain help and support, but he doesn't really need it anymore. He's thriving very well. But I think that when you start the journey with the kid who may have some just a different way of learning, you always try to make a plan because that's what been working. And she don't know no different from that. She just don't. But she was getting on my nerves because it's like, let him choose, let him find his own path. You know, they wealthy. They got enough money for him to, even if he wanted to have a gap year. I'm not saying he need to have a gap year, but just take him to some workshops so he can really see, make him do some surveys so he can see what he want to be and what he want to do. He's not like Keisha, who has it already mapped out. Keisha knows exactly where she want to go and what school she want to go to. Justin's not like that. And that's what makes them two very different and why they lean on each other for support. Keisha leans on him for support in the family way, and he leans on Keisha for support in school and academic. Well, anyway, Keisha mom's come over. She come over and she realizes, like, I don't want to put you through no trauma. I just was just trying to be there, and I just was trying to find somebody to blame, and I had a therapist, and Keisha's like, great, and they just basically make up. She's like, I need you to come on. Like, we don't have to go through all that, but her initial reaction was her natural reaction, which was to protect, and I can understand that. So ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. It's okay, Keisha mom. It's okay. I need to remember her name for the future episodes. But either way, so they make up, and that's pretty much the episode. And I just gave y'all all my thoughts. So I'll see y'all tomorrow on episode 7. And I'll let you know what I think from there. But I think this was a great episode. Dawn got on my nerves. Keisha is finally free. Justin is feeling not so free when it comes to academics. And yeah, it was a great episode. And he got a car. So you know they about to be acting a fool with it. Acting a fool with it. Anyway, so we almost done with Forever Review, the whole series. Anyway, so we're on episode 7. So Keisha got accepted into Howard. Woo! And she is being celebrated by her man in the car. Y'all already know how it do when you are in high school. I'm just saying. And then they go out to dinner and they talk about, you know, asking her how she feels she's going to Howard. And then they talk about her dad. And she basically gives Justin a rundown of her dad. So then her mom throws a party for her and her dad, well, her family does, for her, celebrating her going to Howard, the school she wanted to go to. Woo! And her dad is there. And Justin meets her dad for the first time. And boy, was it intense. I wish Keisha would have took him out to dinner and met her dad formally instead of in such a big crowd, especially with her dad's personality. It seems like he needs a lot of attention, okay, in a way. But he put Justin on the spot and everything at Keisha's party, and I just hated that for her because, one, he ain't been around. And he ain't a deadbeat. I think he just works a lot, and her parents aren't together. But his dad stays involved, and I think he got like a drinking problem too. But either way, he has a big personality, and he puts Justin on the spot at her party in front of everybody. And his dad had to be the one to be like, bro, chill out. He wouldn't listen to nobody. But when he heard his daddy come by and say, knock it off, quit chastising and, you know, messing with this boy. Because he was over there asking Justin all types of stuff like, what you plan on doing? Oh, you want to do music? Well, what type of... He was going in on Justin, and I felt so bad for him because it was in front of everybody. I was embarrassed for him, and Keisha was just like, yo, I told you my dad is crazy. Justin got accepted into Northwestern. Woo! Keisha come over with some balloons, being sarcastic. He don't want to go. She's just trying to pretend. Tells his mom, and his mom is just all over the place. She's calling everybody. She letting everybody know. She crying. She hugging. She doing all the things that moms do when they're proud. So Keisha then tells him, like, you need to be honest with your parents and tell them that you don't want to go. And he's just like, I'm going to go. Because he's seeing how happy his mom was. And he's trying to make his parents happy. And it's just sad to watch because he's really struggling on what he want to do. Music is definitely his thing because it's definitely his thing, or else he wouldn't have even like showed even Keisha's dad at the party in front of everybody. Like, and people was watching for him and, rocking with his music. He got good beats. So then Keisha's on the phone, gets home because she was out and about with her friends, and she gets home and she just got off the phone with Justin, and her dad was like, "That boy is clingy," and he basically told her that him and Justin are one and the same, and that's not abnormal. Girls usually date their dad in one way, shape, or form. Um, so when I really started thinking about it, I'm like, Keisha is Dawn, because very driven, all that. That's why she's so hard on Justin, her son. So Justin is dating his mom essentially, which is Keisha, and Keisha is basically dating her dad, which is Justin. Not knowing where he want to go, just kind of lost. And her dad's like, he clingy. And when he was about his age, he was like, "That's why I got your mama pregnant, because it gave him a reason, I guess, to get us stuff together." Either way, he basically said, "I can relate to Justin. He's a good kid. He's great. But that boy is clinging to you because he is so lost." And he can see that in him because he was once a Justin. He basically was Justin, the way that his life panned out and turned out. So now Christmas Day is here, and Justin's dad just starts bawling, crying, and letting him know, like, you the first one, you the first one of us, as far as men on his side, that's going to college, and how proud he is, because his dad is a chef, and he has his own restaurant. But I don't know what Dawn is. They never really said what she does, but I know she does something in a big way, to the point where I think she helped secure her husband's entrepreneurship into getting these restaurants. I think she helped coordinate something of that sort. I might be wrong, but they didn't really say what she did, but they definitely defined what his dad did. So it's not a shocker if Justin don't decide to go to college, because it seemed like in the past, from his dad's side, that's not what they did. So Justin is even more like, dang, like my dad's crying. Like his dad was in tears, to the point where Justin was in tears. He was just like so overjoyed and so proud of Justin. And Justin's just like crying. And I don't know, he's crying because he's like so happy his dad is like so happy for him. But I think he's also crying because he know, like, I don't want to go to Northwestern at all. So then Keisha and her family come over. Her dad, her mom, her grandfather, they all come over and they enjoy Christmas. And it was so fun. It made me think, like, dang, I want to spend Christmas like in a hot place so I can have a pool party too. But they water fight and all that good stuff. Then everybody leaves and Keisha and Justin are at the house alone in the pool. And we know from the first episode or second or whenever the time Keisha started coming over, it's a blind spot in the pool. Either way, Justin's just like, we should do something in the pool. And Keisha's like, no, I'm good. Your parents is watching, like the cameras is here. He's like, no, let's just try. And then he was like, maybe I'll just pull out or whatever. And she's like, no. And I think that triggered Keisha because she's like, my dad just said he got my mom pregnant. Clock that. He's trying to trap her because he's so lost. And she got out and she went off like, you're so lost to the point where you're clinging to me and it's annoying. And you're getting real crazy and you need to, like, who are you? Keisha's kind of free now. Her secret is out. She got into the college she wanted to get into. Everything is going well now. And Keisha is not as, I don't want to say she's not as dependent on Justin as far as emotions. She definitely loves him. But I think it was a different type of, like, feeling like he was there. He was like the only person she could be honest and transparent with. She definitely, like, clinged to him due to trauma. But now that hers is out the bag and now he's the one that's down. So it shows how their relationship flipped. Justin has always been struggling when it came to school. But I think that him pouring into her, it was easier for him to pour into her so he didn't have to focus on his own stuff. And that's what he's going through. He's very lost. And Keisha just says exactly what her dad told her. And she's like, you need to get it together, So that concludes the episode pretty much. It's just, Justin's just like, I'm going to the school. And she's just like, you don't want to go. You need to be honest and quit clinging on to me and doing all that. And I've find that to be so true. I remember when I was dating, some guy was like, yeah, we should have a. I'm like, wait, no, I got plans. So I really felt that from a teenage perspective back when I was younger. It's like, it ain't happening, boo. No, I want to go to college. I want to get out of this city. I want to get out of here. But that's the difference between Keisha and Justin. Justin has, I don't want to say he has a made life, but Keisha is from a different walk of life where her way out, her education is her way out. Justin don't necessarily feel drawn in that way. School isn't his thing, and he kind of has a different life. Like, he has a car, he lives in a very wealthy neighborhood. I want to say he probably lives in like Calabasas or Baldwin Hills type of field. That's what it's given his neighborhood. And she's like on Slauson. I don't want to say she in a hood, but she's definitely not in a suburban area. She's like, I got to get out of here. I have dreams. I have goals. Um, I think her first dream was Howard. I don't think she knows exactly what she want to be, but she definitely knows, like, I want to go to a HBCU and all that great stuff. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I think Justin is really clinging, and he's just like her dad. And Keisha is very much Dawn, very intelligent, very goal driven, ambitious, and Justin is basically her dad, which is so crazy. And I love who they got playing her dad. He was in Love Is. They need to reboot that some way, somehow, because both characters have aged. But I love that show. If y'all know what I'm talking about, it was on OWN and it was called Love Is. But anyway, all right, episode 8, final episode. So it starts off with Justin's boy over his house, and he invites him to this party, aka club, and they sneak in or whatever with their license or whatever. So then he sees Keisha. It happens to be New Year's Eve, and they make up. And after that, they just enjoy each other's time until it's time for prom. Then prom comes. They go to prom. They have a ball. They doing their thing, doing a whole bunch of photo booth pictures. And then Justin just has to bring the day down. He then says, maybe I should go to Howard. I haven't been around this much culture in forever. And his girlfriend, Keisha's like, you go to Vineyard all the time. He's like, well, maybe I should go to Howard with you. And that just turned the whole night just Keisha is then very annoyed because she's like, here we go again. You're lost. You're lost. You're still lost. And we're all the way in May. Like, why? So then they stop talking for a couple of days. Keisha is just annoyed. He goes to Northwestern with his mom and basically realizes right then and there that he cannot go to this college because he's just like, it's not for me. This is what my mom wants for me. So then he invites Keisha over, and the house is empty and it's just him and Keisha. And he talks about how he is super clingy and he's realizing he can't go to school because it's just not his thing. Keisha then encourages him to tell his parents the truth and be honest with them, but they end up ultimately breaking up. And Justin basically broke it to her like, I'm unhappy and you don't deserve to be drugged down with me, feeling unhappy. I don't know where I'm going. I'm clinging to you. You're my like latest addiction in a way, and it's keeping me off what I need to. So he's like, in order to fulfill who I am, I have to let you go. And she's just like, we breaking up. I think ultimately Keisha wanted to break up because she knew they would not last. Justin be very jealous and just because he'll be like yearning to be with her, and she just knew, but she didn't want to call it. So he ended up having to call it. And I think it's a beautiful thing to put yourself first and know like you're wearing someone out. I think that is ultimately love, to be honest. Like, I love you so much that I don't want you to hurt. I love you so much that I don't want to hurt you on mistake. Like, I love you enough to let you go. Justin also said, like, I need to focus on me and my future. And yeah, so after Keisha, like, after this whole conversation, he then later have, like, his dad is, and mom is celebrating him. Like, the dad just got another restaurant location, which was great for their family. But Justin finally sat down and had the courage to tell his parents, like, I want to pursue music. I want to not go to Northwestern. And it got a little heated, but he got it done. He did get the producer or whatever, the one who was doing beats at the shop where his cousin, he reached out to Justin and asked for one of Justin's beats. So I think that even more just, So then time go by and Justin and Keisha both graduate and time is just going by, and then they ended up bumping into each other at the studio, and Justin asked her out on a date, and this was probably like a week or so or two before Keisha had to leave to go to Howard. So they basically go out to dinner and have the date that they should have had their first date. He gives her the bag that he bought her on their first date. They have closure. They basically get closure knowing they made the right decision. It wasn't easy. And they just are hoping and wishing the best for one another. And that's pretty much how it ended. I think this was the love story that we needed. Like, for them to be so young and be able to make that hard decision, and it's not nasty and disgusting in a way, I think was beautiful. I think that a lot of people, when you're young or just when you're in love, you don't want to let somebody go, even though you know that's the right thing to do. And I think, but ultimately that is love. And I think that this was the love story that we needed to recognize, like, you have to love yourself before you love somebody else. Find out who you are before you just lock somebody down. This is great for the young people out there, maybe not wanting to leave their high school sweetheart go, or people who was with their high school sweetheart and realizing like where your relationship went wrong later when you like broke up in adulthood. Because it's a lot of people that don't make it, but it's a lot that make it. So I think this was a great love story. And it's a lot of high school sweethearts that break up right after high school and then later meet in adulthood, in college, and get back together. So, but this was the love story, the Black love story that we needed. I know for me, it gave perspective on my teenage mind and just the logic of it all and the emotions and how emotional you are when you are a teenager. And I think as a parent, a millennial parent, it also gave me some insight that I feel like I'm doing a good job as a parent, but it also made me realize as a parent, I cannot be pushing my kids into a vision or expectation that they can't even hold up themselves, and that I shouldn't do that. It's just not selfish. I could be proud without making them feel bad for themselves for their decisions that they make in life. So that's one thing that I learned. What did you guys learn after watching this entire series? I can't wait for season 2. I'm so happy they got renewed. So I'll be back talking about Forever in season 2. Until then, I also want to say I think that Keisha and Justin were perfect for each other. They pushed each other, they challenged each other by them giving each other advice. I think that was great. Seeing it on the other side. I also want to say I just think they helped each other grow, and that's ultimately what you want in a relationship. And that's my last thought about this show. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be giving a whole bunch of reviews of just shows and putting y'all onto shows that y'all just need to go watch. So yeah, but that's my thought of Forever. It was so beautiful. All right, see you guys later. Check out my other videos of my thoughts because I be on some random stuff. All right, see y'all. Peace and hair grease. Bye.